Welcome to day 10 of the query folding challenge. If you've made it this far, that means you've been consistent and just like me, put in a lot of effort to get here. There are days I felt very lazy, but yep, I'm here today, and after today, there'll be 20 more days to go. For today's challenge, we are to select the employee column and a computed column, teammate, which references the name values from the employee column. So the instruction here says to create a team of two. No one should be on more than one team. Everyone should know their teammate's name. And unfortunately, one person will be left out. Oh, that's unfortunate. We'll be using the wide world importers database and the employee table. So let's head over to Power BI. As usual, the first step is to connect to the data source. Go to the wide world importers database and select the employee table. Then click on transform data. Click on OK to import. Go to choose columns to select the columns you would want to use. To answer this question, we need the employee key and the employee columns. We have the employee key, we have the employee column. Now we need an extra column for teammate, where each person here gets assigned a teammate. One way to go about this is to insert an index, but the moment you insert an index, you realize that query folder will stop working. Let's try that out and see. Insert index from 0. You see query folding is no longer working. So what we can do about this is to split this data into a team of two different people. One way to go about that is to insert a new step here. We use the Table.Partition function. We pass the previous step as the table and the column we want to use to partition, right? We want to use the employee key column, employee key. We want to split this table into two groups, and it's asking us for the hash as a function. Here we just use the tables. Click on enter. And now we have a list of two tables. The first table has a list of some employees, around 107 rows. And if you notice something, you will notice that all the employee key, they are all even numbers. So what this has helped us selected all employees with even employee key here. If we should check the second one, we see that all employees with odd key are available in this table. So we have employees with even number and employees with odd number. That's great. So for example, we can choose to focus on each of these employees one after the other. You can add steps manually, or you can just reference this table. If you reference this table and select the first part, we have employees with even key. So we call this batch. Let's say even employees. We repeat the same process, reference, and select the second option. And for here, we have all employees with odd employee key. So, but there's still no way for us to match these two tables together where we can have teammates. One way to do this is to add a new column, add a custom column. Let's call that column new employee key. For employees that have odd employee key, we can convert that into even number by just adding 1 to it. We add 1 to this, we have, okay, let me confirm, what did I miss? I should use employee key, not employee. Click on OK. And now you have a new employee key. You can confirm query folding is still working fine. So now that we have the new employee key that are even numbers, we can use these even numbers to join it to this table that also have even numbers, right? So let's try that out. Go to home, click on merge. We're going to merge this as a new query. Select employee key. Then let's go to the odd employees. We're not going to use the employee key. We're going to use a new key. When you use a new key, you'll see the number of employees that now have a teammate. And as mentioned in the question, you see that one of the employees does not have a teammate. Just click on OK. And we'll call this group A. You can, let me see, expand this. Instead of having odd employees here, we can rename this to teammate. That looks better. To expand this column, what we just need here is the employee column. So we click on OK. We have the teammate for this, each of this employee here. I'll just rename this. To teammate. Considering that this is adding a new step, I can remove this and just go back to the editor here and name this as teammate. As it is for all employees with the even employee key, now have all their teammates, but all employees don't have their teammates here. So we need to perform another join. Click on merge, merge queries as new. Right here, we'll be using the new employee key. We are merging this to the even employees. And we see that all employees here are properly matched. Then we click on OK. Call this group B. And right here, we can expand this. Click on OK. We have even employees. So we'll rename this to teammate. What we actually need is not the employee key, but the employee name. So I'm going to expand this. This should be employee. So now we have the names of those employees. And what we can do is to remove the new employee key. We don't need the new employee key anymore. For group B, we also don't need the primary key. But just for the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to leave this out. And for the final step, we're going to combine these two tables together. We're going to append as new. And it should be B. Click on OK. And I'll rename this to result, or let's say data. Now we have the list. So as it is now, we have all employees with their teammates. We can sort this. Not recommended though, because you're going to run into issues where query folding will stop working. But now you can see from 0, 1 down to you see that no number is missing, down to the very last number that we have in this column. They all have their teammates, except for this unknown employee. That's the only employee that does not have a teammate. So what we can do is to make sure that everything is working fine. We can just remove this step, which for the sorted, remove this step Go back to the previous steps and remove the employee key column. Repeat the same step for B. And now we have the data that we need, where we have each employee name and the teammate of that employee. So with this step, we've been able to solve today's challenge. It's super easy. And to make sure everything is working fine, you can uncheck the option to load these previous steps. And if you want to take this to the next level, you can choose to combine the whole of this into a single query. That way you don't have to worry about this. Just close and apply. This brings us to the end of today's challenge. Thank you for following through all this while. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, kindly give the channel a subscription. And if you like this video, kindly give it a thumbs up. Thank you and see you tomorrow.